All right, welcome into Cleveland Browns Daily on a Friday edition of the program. Chargers, Browns, Sunday. I heard you. What do you got?
And a demerit for you.
Why? What did I do?
End of the show yesterday.
Why?
Oh, he went back to the tape.
I went back to the tape.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I went
Yeah.
back to the tape.
He started talking and realized there was no sound. And
No.
then,
Yep.
and then he fixed
Well,
it.
I was
it was
editing the show last night.
It was an
and
elite
I
fix.
Said,
The audio of the show you were editing?
yes.
You're suggesting what you're telling. I'm gonna have to hear it because I believe that
I will pull
I
it,
believe
and I
that
will
the
play
I
it later
believe
in the
that the
show.
audience would not have known the difference. You're suggesting that it was.
Yeah, but there's a stream.
I understand the stream, but the stream we're producing audio here, right? That's the primary.
We do have a
focus.
radio show. That's the
That's
primary.
a primary
Yeah,
focus.
but I
is
give myself
audio.
a demerit, and people on the radio would never have an idea. And I own my demerits. They would never know.
But it was also coming out of a. I don't know if you have ever owned a demerit. Ever.
I'd say market.
Never,
Wasn't
dude.
it yesterday? I said
No.
market. I
No.
did it and said market.
I think you're the king of if you got caught, then you would acknowledge getting caught, but you would never. You were never the kid who was like, "Hey, Dad," you like the guilt weighing in on you. I think you can deal with guilt fine. That's how I am too.
Depends on what type of guilt.
What level of guilt?
Yeah.
I have no problem with guilt. None.
Some people would say that's
so-
sociopathic. It keeps you happy.
Thin line between sociopath and genius. It's a
I
thin
will.
line.
Keeps
I
me
will
happy
pull the
now.
audio, but
You're thinking, huh?
when,
All
when
right.
when it came up, I knew exactly. I'm like,
Okay.
by review.
Listen, I'm running away with this. Don't worry about it.
I
Take
had
a
a
demerit.
streak-
It's fine. Join the club.
I had
It's not a big deal.
trying to. Oh, you hate to see. Are you really telling me that Gibby somehow only has one demerit?
It's not. That's because
can't
it
be
was
real.
started way after he was on that heater where he was demeriting left and right.
Wow. No demerits here. Nothing but wins. Joined by Troy Hill as we head out on the hotline for a little visit with our corner who is heading back to Los Angeles where he played last year for the Rams, of course. Troy, thank you so much for taking the time, pal. Give me a window into this defense and the performances the last couple of weeks, especially last week against Minnesota. What do you guys believe in and what are you doing so well that gives you confidence heading into this game against the Chargers?
I think more so we just believe in each other, and it's starting to show out there, and the chemistry that we got with each other is starting to show too. I mean, we still ain't where we want to be, but it's definitely stepping stones out there, and I feel like the rushing and the coverage is going hand to hand right now, and it's working well for us. So, I mean, we just got to keep on getting better week in and week out, though.
And Troy, when you take on a team that comes into the game hot like the Minnesota Vikings, where they have Thielen and Jefferson and Osborne, and they've got Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook, to shut them down, something that you on the number one defense in the NFL last year in LA were very familiar with doing. What does that do for the group's confidence?
I mean, it definitely is a confidence builder, but it's any given Sunday, and it's a what have you done for me lately type of league. So, I mean, like I said, it's a stepping stone, and we just got to keep building. And every week we got to come out there and face a new talent. So, I mean, new opponent, and we got to come out there and do our thing. I mean, shit, like I say, it's a confidence builder, but it don't really mean too much. Like, we already on to the next opponent. We got to come and do the same thing against the Chargers.
Yep.
You mentioned those challenges, and I would assume as a competitor like yourself, when you think about the receiving core that Minnesota has, the receiving core this week, and even I know Coach Stefanski doesn't even want to think about what's coming down the line. You stay in the moment, you stay in the Chargers, but Arizona as well.
Which he knows well.
This is which you would know well. This is an incredible stretch of receivers that you're going to get the opportunity to cover. Knowing you a little bit, I imagine that gets the juices flowing.
Definitely, as a competitor, you want to go against the best, but I feel like we got some of the best receivers every day, like that we facing in practice in our receiving course. So I mean, like I say, it's just another task. We got to go out there, execute our technique, and everything else is gonna play out how it's supposed to play out.
And it's playing out very, very well for you guys. Now, you and John come from the Rams. The head coach of the Chargers, Brandon Staley, was your defensive coordinator a year ago. What was it like playing for him, and what do you think he brings to this Chargers organization?
man, Coach Staley, he all about ball. You know, he a great football coach and everything about it. So we know that they're gonna be a real prepared team. So, I mean, like I say, it always come back to just coming out and executing our game plan. It's gonna be a fun one because I mean, I can't remember. I ain't never played against like one of my defensive coaches as a head. Well, actually, I take that back, Vance Jefferson. But not Vance Jefferson, but VJ over there in Arizona. I actually played against him when he was in Denver. But I mean, it's gonna be a fun one though. Vance Joseph, I mean, but it's gonna be a fun one though. I mean, get to go back to LA, be in that great stadium, and be on a new team. But you know, when you step in them lines, we coming out there to win. So that's the main focus.
When you for our offense, have you guys had conversations with our guys, with Coach, about some of the tendencies Coach Staley had? Do you think that has any merit going into the game that you and John were in that defense?
Not really me. I'm not really sure if they came and asked John anything, but I know for me, I ain't really get asked too many questions about his tendencies or anything. I feel like, you know, that's their job. They got everything under control over there, so
there's
you know,
whole departments to do that advanced scouting. That's right. Troy, when you think about, you know, this defense and you're rolling it in the nickel, and I can tell you that coming off the field, you know, your DB coach Jeff Howard was thrilled with the way you played in Minnesota. You know, you've got to be a tackler. You've got to be physical. It seems to me like you pride yourself on that, being a physical presence in the run game as well as what you do and your great coverage skills. Where's that mentality come from?
Man, I guess growing up in Youngstown, Ohio, you know, we always had to have a tough mentality type of thing, and I feel like I just always call myself a football player. Like, I just want to make plays and be around the football because, I mean, good things happen when you're around the football. So, I mean, I ain't want to just say I was a corner because even when I was at corner, I tackled. But, like I said, growing up in Youngstown, Ohio, that kind of gave me a little edge and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's kind of where I get it from.
This defense is developing an edge as well. What's been different the last couple of weeks from maybe the first couple of weeks? You just see a group that's just salivating, it looks like, to get out on the field and hit people.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's just doing their job and one play at a time. And I feel like I say, we starting to gain that chemistry that we needed. You know, it's a lot of new pieces in place in this defense, and you know, we starting to like figure out how Joe Woods called the defense and things like that. So, I mean, it's just every week that you see us out there, you see us playing a little faster and things like that because everybody getting more comfortable and understanding things like that. So, I feel like, you know, I'm excited where we at, but I'm excited to where we can be come the end of the season too.
And that's when you want to be peaking November, December, into January, and hopefully February with this team. Troy, how helpful have those Thursday player meetings been, and to have guys like Malik and to have guys like Malcolm Smith who have won Super Bowls, who've done that on their teams? Is that something you ever did with the Rams, and how helpful has that been kind of in you guys gelling and being on the same page?
Man, y'all got the inside scoop, don't y'all? But, I mean, it's definitely been helpful. I mean, you know, ever since we started doing that, we started cleaning ourselves up on third down and things like that. So it's definitely been helpful, and it's player run. So, I mean, you hear what other players thinking, and you can get their mindset. So, like I say, it all comes down to playing fast. So, once you hear how one player thinking, you know what I'm saying, you can play a little faster off of him and things like that. So, I mean, it's definitely helping, and it's showing up a lot. So, I feel like that's something that we're going to keep going throughout the season.
Troy, I know that you didn't know Greedy last year, but knowing what he went through to see him go out there and play that game that he did against Minnesota, I'm sure you guys have gotten to know each other in that cornerback room. What was that like to be a part of somebody who had been through so much and getting to come back and have that game?
Man, I was so happy for him when he got that interception. I think I was the first one off the sideline almost. It's just like you say, the story and just understanding like what he been through and just understanding my story when somebody go through some a type of struggle or when people count you out and you come out and you execute like that. I mean, I just kind of got like a different type of feeling for him. Like man, I understand where you're coming from, and I understand that your journey, and I understand the work that you put in that a lot of people might not see that you're doing outside of the facility, or, you know what I'm saying, things like that.
Yeah.
So, man, I was so happy when he got that interception because I always be saying, like, man, like I went through a situation where it's like, man, you could be in those type of positions where everything that kind of happened to him, where he had injuries, and then they bring this guy in or this guy in, like you can lose your confidence, and I don't think he ever lost his confidence, and that kind of was like, you know what I'm saying, like,
Yeah,
you doing that, you know what I'm saying, you is a starter in this league, you can be that, so, you know what I'm saying, he went out there and he showed that he is that.
he told me something real cool. I got a chance to interview him yesterday, Troy, and he said, I asked him, who's the first person that you reached out to after the game? And he said he sent a text to his mom, and he said, I will never doubt myself again. And
Nice.
I thought that was a pretty powerful thing.
Yeah, that's big, you know what I'm saying, like, I'm telling you, you never know, like, just in those type of situations what a person can go through, because you can always go left or right, like, you know what I mean? And when that doubt starts to creep in, that can affect the whole game, and you ain't playing the same way with him. He came out there and he showed what he can do, so
Well, there was another
I'm
guy
excited for him.
There was another guy from LSU who kind of made his first return to full-time action, Grant Delpit, who had an interception thanks to you, but unfortunately erroneous calls were made. But did that feel good? Because, you know, when you went back and watched the film that you did not commit an infraction, that could have been a real good Hollywood ending right there. Get that pick to ice the game, but to know you were in the right position, got your left hand on that football as you're taught to do, and that led to we'll call it a pick here. You and John have gotten a little bit of bad luck, I would say, the last 2 weeks.
I don't know what's going on. He's like, like LA or what, but you know, I just feel like now I gotta be a little better in my technique and drop that hand, I guess, or maybe turn my head and get the interception myself now. So I mean, we just gonna keep on working and keep on doing our thing, and I love seeing these young boys out there balling and playing fast. So I mean, I'm excited to be a part of this secondary and what we accomplishing so far. So, you know, it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun season. It is a fun season, I should say.
Yeah.
Going to be fun this weekend getting back to L.A. against the Chargers. Thanks for your time, Troy. Good luck on Sunday.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, that's
All
our
right.
buddy Troy Hilks, who's headed back to Los Angeles, going up against Brandon Staley, of course, who coordinated that defense last year in L.A. Always good talking to him and any of our players when we get the opportunity. Let's get into the OBM Hot Topics. Ohio Business Machine, preferred copy provider of your Cleveland Browns. They have all the X's and O's to your office. Call 216-485-2000 or visit ohiobusinessmachines.com. Final injury updates before Sunday. Hub and Newsome both out. You talked about that yesterday, and so, as is typically the case, finger on the pulse on that one. Questionable list, though. Miles added to that.
Said he will play.
But he told the media he fully expects to play in the game, but he was held out of practice today. Clowney, Fields, Hill, McKinley, Njoku, Smith,
play.
Treader, Ward, Wills.
Play until you get to Jed, and I think that's where the question mark comes in.
Yeah.
You don't know if it'll be Jed Wills. If he is not able to go, it feels like maybe Blake Hance will be the guy that gets the nod at left tackle. And you know, the good news, if there is any good news this week, because we immediately think, oh, here comes Joey Bosa, right? And Joey Bosa, tremendous player, and he has been elite so far this season. But unlike years past, where Joey Bosa has been somebody who really is kind of lined up on both sides, kind of 50-50. He'd rush against the right tackle. He would rush against the left tackle. That's what he had used to be. So far this year, and I'll give you a detailed breakdown right here, but so far this year, snaps by position, you get into detail position, he has been rushed as the left side guy. So if you were to look at the whole season, week 1, 37 snaps from the left, 8 from the right. Week 2, 44 snaps from the left. So this would be against Jack Conklin, not against whoever starts at left tackle. Only 5 from the right side. In week 3, it was 43 and 11. Week 4, 37 and 10. So at least 4-1 basically for the season. He spent 80% of his time against opponents' right tackles, only 20% against opponents' left tackles. Now, will that be something they switch up? Sure, he's capable of doing it. But so far this year, that's how they've played.
That's how they've played it. Going to be a fun one. We'll continue to get you set over the next hour and 45 minutes. Coming up next, we'll take a look back at the game last night out west between the Rams and the Seahawks. The injury to Russell Wilson. This is great, folks. This Money Mitch. The money train just moves right on down in Houston.
Just unbelievable.
Just a great job out of him and a great job of you. We'll get you the story on how that came about. Scores as well, your keys to victory, everything you need. We're off and running. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. Win big with digital scratch-off game brought to you by Ohio Lottery and ClevelandBrowns.com and Browns social channels. Fans can play once per day through the season by digitally scratching off a virtual card for chances to win great prizes like Team Shop gift cards and tickets to future games. For more information, log on to promotions.clevelandbrowns.com. Fun one last night, but incredible consequences in terms of the injury to Russell Wilson. If you pay attention to the scores, you're welcome.
You're welcome. I mean, the Thursday club is hot. It's
Hot. It's really.
And fuego.
Yeah, and the we're not even being that. It's pretty overt.
It's
like
pretty
if
overt.
you happen to pay attention to the scores at all,
You know
it's
what's
quite
happening on Thursday. So
overt. What's
so
happening.
in 2 weeks,
Not a lot of subtlety.
in 2 weeks when we predict the Broncos to ram it on the Browns, we've just guaranteed a Browns victory.
Guaranteed it. Yep, that's right. That's all.
That's basically where we're at.
That's where we're at.
Undefeated on Thursday nights, and there hasn't been even one nail biter yet.
No, not at all. What do you make of well, let's do positive first from the Rams side of things. This was a sloppy first half. Nobody could really do anything. Both quarterbacks were inaccurate. Both had fingers.
I wonder if people are going to be calling for their dismissal and
Dismiss them.
questioning the veracity of their ability to be a starting quarterback.
I think that it should be. I think that happens in every market, so I think that ought to happen. What's crazy is much of the attention is on Wilson with the finger, which was quite frankly gross. But they were struggling huge before that, and actually Geno Smith came right in, moved him right down the field. He had an incredible drive. It was like 98 yards on the one drive.
Yeah, it felt like they called different plays for him.
It does. Everything was in the middle.
Yeah.
And with Russ, it's not. Everything's on the edges.
And
I agree with you. I thought it was strange.
They make him make some very difficult throws, which he does. Tyler Lockett was 2 inches away from having 800 yards and 3 touchdowns in this game. Some bad call. I think, look, that holding call at the end of the first half, and then they end up missing that field goal instead of what would have been a touchdown was a massive change in this game. Massive.
You can't miss a 35-yard field goal in that spot. You just can't do it. It can't happen. I mean, you have all the momentum. You get the big play.
Yeah.
Like we got to get out of here with points, and you don't. I thought they should have taken the timeout. I thought that there's a lot of stupid things Seattle did. The 4th and 2 play you and I were talking about off air,
absurd,
where they run it right at Aaron Donald, and Troy Aikman goes, I guess if you're thinking, well, no one would expect us to run it right at Aaron Donald, that might work.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they did, which is, no, in fact, that is that dumb of an idea. And so that's a brutal one. And then I thought it was brutal. They get the play. They have the 2 timeouts, and then they don't take the timeout. They hurry up, and then they just run it for like 6 yards, and then they take the timeout. Meantime, they burnt
17 seconds in front at the line. That was
for
crazy.
no reason. Yeah. Like, take it right away. If you're going to take it anyway, why burn a play running up the middle?
Agreed.
I thought Seattle was really unorganized and really poorly coached offensively. Really do.
It just feels that way. It does not feel like they're not a great-looking team. Stafford for the day throws for 365, and it feels like he could have easily thrown for 450 and 3 touchdowns if he had just hit some wide-open dudes deep.
Yeah, he struggled as well. I don't know. I think from the Stafford side of things and from the Rams side of things, I think you probably feel pretty good. You rebound from you understand why what happened in Arizona happened. You have a big game against Tampa Bay, all of the juice that comes with that, and then you play Arizona. They've never beaten you with Kingsbury, and you feel like, okay, let's go take care of business. You don't, but you rebound quickly going up to Seattle to play that game, and it goes the way that it goes. For Seattle, there are big questions. Beyond the Russell Wilson injury, I do think is it fair to question the Jamal Adams?
So
he was bad.
So Jamal Adams now is an edge rusher who
all he can do is blitz. Apparently, can't cover.
At all.
None.
Like, I mean, it's dreadful. They've allowed 450 yards of offense in, 4 consecutive games?
Yeah.
They're awful on defense.
He's terrible. He can't track the ball. He can't cover. I mean, it's
terrible.
Higbee just smoked him. I don't know.
That was an easy corner route. I mean, it was like nothing.
Yeah, nothing. I don't know. I mean, they gave up a lot to get him, and they paid him. And to me, he looks like is he essentially Micah Parsons?
But he didn't used to be.
No, I don't know. I don't know what's happened. But
they had him and Marcus May with the Jets, and they were a good back end, and they were covering, and he was physical and run support, and, he could blitz occasionally, but it's like now all he cares about is running around crazy, and he doesn't
There's
cover
no discipline.
Well. No.
None. No. I wonder if they almost make him a linebacker because that's kind of all he can do at this point. Like you
can't ask him to cover, but that's a problem.
That's a pretty big deal for a safety.
It's a problem. The other thing that was stunning, I think, about this game happened in the pregame, and it was Steve Smith's utter disdain for Matt Nagy, which reached heights of uncomfortability, and it felt like it had to be immensely personal.
I've said this before on the Coaches Show because we're doing the Coaches Show as that show is airing on NFL Network, and I don't know how many people watch it because it airs so far ahead. The game doesn't kick until 8:20 now. So I mean, like when the incident you're talking about, that's a 6:50. That hits around 6:50, so that's a long ways in advance of the game. So I don't know how many people are watching it all. And then you had a Fox pregame show too, so it's so much on a pregame show. That show is the NFL equivalent of TNT.
Yeah, inside that.
That's what it is.
Yep.
It's that, and it is. I texted the Hoff yesterday, and I said I would give anything to have the access to your inner monologue that your brain is having when Steve Smith is talking. Or when Michael Irvin is talking, especially when they get amped up, because you can see the facial expressions you can't coach.
Right.
They're there. And you could see the Hoff. It's just
Well, the
Gold.
Nagy thing went on for about 5 minutes,
It
and
went a long time.
it kept escalating and escalating and escalating. At some point, the Hoff, I think you tried to bring some, levity to the situation. It was like, did he kick your dog or something? And Cecil was like, my dog would have kicked his. Like, it was just
Right.
like, whoa.
Yeah.
Where's this coming from?
It did seem personal, and I can't imagine that it was. Like, I don't know that they would have ever crossed paths. When Steve Smith was in the league, Matt Nagy was quarterbacking the Columbus Destroyers in the AFL.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they ever would have crossed paths. A good
not
job
pleased
out
with
of
them.
friend of the program, The Miz, with a nice cameo with
What a bully.
with Sal. He's really bullying Sal, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best part is his one of his line is nobody likes you. That is an actual line that he
uses-
loves in real life.
I know. I've heard him say it to you on
Many
this
times.
show
Yeah.
many, many times when he joins.
If you
By
say
the
something
way,
he doesn't like,
Sal got it again.
Nobody likes you. Of course he did. He's on fire. He's the best. The three of us are
That's
probably the best pickers in the country.
Yeah, I think we're at an all-time level. I'm going to tell you something. I'll choose my words very carefully here because I know that this is a sensitive topic, but it's something that I have to say. There is no place in football for live mascots flying around stadiums. You understand?
Let me tell
There
you
is
something.
no reason to have a hawk fly around a stadium. There is nothing for it. Take the thing to its home. You want to have it at the facility, and it's some sort. If it's a one that's been rescued, fine. There is no reason to take a hawk and have it fly around a stadium full of 70,000 people screaming. That hawk landed on a human's head last night.
And that man.
Hello?
Hold on. Not only did it land on his head, it then proceeded to scratch his head over.
It's a raptor.
Hold on a second. When I saw that, I immediately thought, how would I have handled that situation? And panic and just brushing it off. Then I thought about how you would have handled that situation, which would have been, I think, hilarity. This dude, no fluster. He didn't flinch. He didn't move. He allowed this bird to just rub its talons over his. He was cool as a cucumber. Big props to that guy. That's somebody that I want with me in some type of a high-pressure situation where you're dealing with potentially death because he's going to stay calm.
It was a major Richard Winters, Dick Winters resolve. That level of resolve.
Complete.
That calmness under pressure. I will tell you, because I've had to be in stadiums where they think it's a good idea to fly a bird around. And when I'm in the crowd, and I always head on a swivel.
Oh,
Where are
of
they
course.
at? Where's it at? But as soon as I see any notion of, it'd be cute to fly this thing around during the national anthem, I'm gone. I'm
See ya.
a ghost. I'm going under some sort of pavilion. I'm going behind anywhere I can get that is not open air where the bird can get me. There is zero reason to ever do this.
Agreed. I just
It's
want to.
insane.
If somebody out there, if somebody's caught up with that guy though, and has interviewed this man,
Someone has.
I
Somebody
wanna-
in Seattle, local Seattle news has cut up.
somebody
for sure.
tweet us that clip because this guy, I need to know about this guy. It just
He's got to be a paratrooper. There's
he
nobody else
didn't
that can
even
handle
bother.
that.
The first time it clawed his head, it looked kind of painful, and then it goes to do it again, and he's
It's a
still,
raptor.
of
They-
course,
they
he still
use
is
the
just like
claws
whatever
to
kill,
kill.
to crush, to maim. By the way, on a lighter note, one thing I was asked to get out there by the cuz himself. Miz demanded to be shirtless in that segment,
That's the least surprising thing of all time.
which was my response to
Yeah,
that text,
the least
actually
surprising
verbatim.
thing of all
And
time.
Miz's
Yeah.
response was, "If you got it, flaunt it."
I do prefer him. I love him as a heel. I love him as a
Oh,
jerk.
and
He's so
yeah.
good as a heel. I love him as a heel.
By the way, today is his birthday, so happy birthday, Miz.
I'm sure he's not listening because he's got 75 jobs and 86,000 other things to do, but happy birthday anyway.
I know. Right now, amongst his close friends, Matt Cardona, the formerly known as Zach Ryder, still waiting for Miz to RSVP to his wedding, which has not happened yet, or his bachelor party.
He's busy.
Still hasn't
Busy
happened. And I was given a doubtful on the injury report if he would make the trek down to the hotel in LA to see me, since I cannot leave the hotel.
He's not.
Doubtful.
He's in the middle of Dancing with the Stars, man.
I said we could practice some moves. We get out there, we could cha.
You would. You really would enjoy it. I was in a press box once where they flew a bald eagle in the anthem. All right. So then they think it's a good. I'm sitting there minding my own business, covering a game. Buddy of mine goes, "Hey, look at this."
It's
I
here.
look behind you. I look behind me. The eagle is right behind
So
me.
you
No further away than you is to me right now. The thing is untethered. Okay, it's untethered. It was a panic attack. No one needs to be that close to the eagle. They are gorgeous animals. Let it fly. Let it live. It does not need to be in a press box, okay?
No. No, it does not.
You would not have, like the Cincinnati Bengals, the equivalent would be like Cincinnati Bengals bringing out a tiger, taking him off the chain and letting him run around while we do the anthem.
There's no doubt he
You wouldn't do that.
I've already been bitten by a tiger. They could smell that.
Smell the fear.
I wouldn't be fearful. I would be like, I've already
I don't think it's a
stared
shame.
this down.
It's not a shame to be fearful of a tiger.
I just think I'm
That's-
marked. I think I'm in the tiger community.
When did you get bitten by a tiger?
Puerto Vallarta.
Oh, my God. Of course.
I told you this. Have I not told
No,
you this
I've
story?
never heard this story.
Okay.
Is this suitable for air?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Sometimes I feel like your life is like one long hangover movie.
in Puerto Vallarta, where my parents have, and now I have a timeshare and have for 30 years in Paradise Village, the Hoff actually, as well.
Yeah.
Their golf course is called El Tigre.
Okay.
And so at the entrance to the golf course and on various holes, there are ginormous pens of tigers walking around. Safe from your golf shots,
Yeah.
and also you are safe from them. But every now and then, guess what tigers do? They go on dates.
Sure
And
they
then
do.
what do you have?
Oh.
Baby tigers. So baby tigers, though, grow rather rapidly. And the baby tigers become the friends of the people running this golf course. And so one year we went, and there was a tiger baby about the size of a German shepherd,
Okay.
I want to say. So substantial.
That's a substantial tiger, yeah.
And a tiger. And at this point, this tiger is walking down the first fairway with the guy on a leash like it's a dog. And it's a big German shepherd. It's substantial.
It's not a German. It's a tiger.
It's a tiger.
It's a tiger on a leash.
So to the left of the first fairway is a little creek that it's more of a drainage creek that funnels into everything, but the sides are pretty steeply banked, and the tiger likes to go in there, and he likes to frolic in the water a
Sure.
little bit and just kind of lay down and chill out.
Have a good time.
So I see this and I'm like, hey, I've never pet a tiger before.
How old are you?
Early 20s.
Okay.
Early 20s.
Mischievous name.
Dumb enough to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
for the story to continue. So the tiger's down there, and the guy's like petting the tiger. I know it's a tiger. I see it's a tiger, but it seems like it's this guy's dog.
It's a pet. Yeah.
Seems like a
everybody's
great
buddy.
Yeah,
Cuddle with him.
totally cool dude. So he's there, and I'm talking to the guy, and he's like, "Hey, go ahead. You can pet him. It's fine." Cool. So
Yeah.
I walk down in, and the tiger's there. I'm petting him. He like licks my hand. I'm like, "This is crazy. Like this is get pictures. This is awesome. When does this ever happen? That you're
Doesn't.
just feel like I'm Pablo Escobar right now, just hanging out, petting tigers, having the time of my life. Everything's great. The whole encounter couldn't be better.
Sure.
So now I have to walk away, though.
Yeah.
Apparently, you don't show your back to a tiger, which was a piece of information that I would have appreciated
That was germane to the situation.
prior.
That would've been- Yeah.
So I didn't think I was going to back myself up this kind of steep bank. I'm going to turn and walk up the bank. I go to turn and walk up the bank. I hear a gasp. The next thing I know, I feel right on my calf, on my right leg, he's got like it is in his mouth, full on. And I hear the guy start yelling at the tiger in Spanish, and he's just kind of like moving his teeth around, but he's got me. Like
Yeah,
if
you're not
he
going
wanted to
anywhere.
bite down and probably take my leg off, felt like completely in play.
Yeah.
But he just kind of like rolled his mouth around on it, didn't break the skin at all. And the guy yelled at him, then he let me go. And then he goes, "Ha ha, amigo, never turn your back to a tiger." I said, "Buddy, that would have been real helpful before." So I mean, but when I looked down, it was one of those things you look down and you're like, this tiger's either going to let me go
Yeah.
or he's going to take
There goes a leg.
my leg. And he did not.
How many people do you think did it take for society to understand and never turn a back on a tiger? Like how many? How many did it go
I think
wrong?
I'm a lucky one.
I think you are too.
So I'm
I
able
think-
to tell the story.
So you could tell the story, never turn
Sure.
your back. But how many people aren't able to tell the story?
Probably too many. My
Lots.
dad told me that was one of the dumbest things I've ever done.
Does furthermore?
Of course, he loves
does,
it.
Does anybody?
You're
does-
an idiot.
does-
A tiger would have bit your leg off. You deserved it.
Is there anybody who loves telling you how dumb you are more?
No.
Pedro.
No.
At every opportunity.
And I can't say his like what he loves to say and be like dumb. Beep.
Yeah.
That was his favorite.
Yeah,
That's
was it.
he liked to throw that on the end of dumb, and that he felt like that really drove
That
the point
drove
home.
the point home.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Nerd.
Coming up next, an incredible piece of theater from Money Mitch. In addition to that, you'll hear from Greedy Williams. We've got a little over-under as well. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. mentioned that the great Money Mitch, who
Legend.
it is for sure. It is a Mount Rushmore segment in the history of this program. I think it's fair to say. I think any number
Yes.
of the Cole experiences, certainly him coming in here in a shearling, the very famous Rocky Top, It's a Way of Life, all of those things would be up there. And Money Mitch eating Rally's fries while we conducted an interview without skipping a beat, which then led to, I believe, a Rally's endorsement or
He
a
got
Yes.
a black card.
Rallies for life.
Rallies for life is
Yeah.
what Money
Yeah.
Mitch got. Yeah, that's the way that works. So that's incredible. So this happened this week. This is the video equivalent of our. What would this be from our content team? What would the equivalent of this be?
This would be like a player spotlight that would
Okay.
be in a Browns Live or, just any kind of an interview, a one-on-one interview. And so I had
So,
Yep.
hold please.
Yep.
This happened down in Houston
Yes.
this week. Have a listen.
I heard a story when you were in Cleveland that you showed up to a radio show and you were eating French fries and you got yourself a French fry deal.
Yeah.
You know what? We have a partnership with Whataburger.
Well, man, I love them honey chicken biscuit
You
sandwiches.
do? They have they have fries too.
Yeah,
Maybe
no.
they might need a fry spokesperson. What makes a good spokesperson?
Oh, you gotta just.
You gotta just be eating the fries and eating the food all the
You gotta
time.
be able to sell and let them know how good it is. You know, I've had some Whataburger fries. They are good.
Do you like it with the dipping sauce?
Oh yeah, I'm a big sauce guy. Barbecue, honey mustard, ketchup.
Yeah, they've got a
Yeah.
couple different ketchups
They got
too.
the sauce.
They got the spicy. They got the fancy. Okay, well, I feel like we gotta work on a fry deal for you to just like welcome you to Houston.
Come on.
He wanted some food here. We were not prepared, but maybe we can hook you up.
So let's go over the highlights of this. Man, I love that that honey chicken biscuits. Big sauce guy.
What about, we got to hook you up. Come on.
So he did get hooked up.
Yes.
The reason that this happened is because of the man to my left.
Yes.
Tell the people what you did for money.
So we played the Texans week 2, and they do a behind enemy lines interview. And so DP, who was hosting that segment there with Money Mitch, did the interview with me. And we previewed the game. I had mentioned that, both Money Mitch and Kirko were two of my, all-time favorite Browns, probably on my Browns Mount Rushmores of human beings. And that, clearly Money Mitch is a legend. And so after the interview was done, I said, listen, you just interview this guy as much as possible.
Yep.
You never know what you're going to get. It's all going to be gold. He is the best human being. And I said, his famous interview with us we were doing, and he's eating Rally's fries throughout the interview and talking about how great they were. And it ended up with him getting Rally's for life for free. So I said, bring that up to him. He's going to love it. And sure enough, he did it. And so this morning,
amazing.
as this is, now going around and going viral, at least it feels like it is. Maybe it's just because it's in our world.
In our
It was
world,
brought to our attention in our world here. Money Mitch and I were texting, and I said, I told DP about your epic Rallies interview and what happened after. Look at you, still getting it done. I said, you have no idea how happy this made me, bro. And he goes, that was good looking out. I appreciate you, bro. And I said, all love, brother. Got to keep my boy fed. I said, free fries always taste the best. One love. Money Mitch. What a human.
Oh, that's great.
New Rob was fired up this morning about it when he saw
New
that.
Rob was
Yeah,
excited?
New Rob was pumped. I got a text. I think New Rob may have texted me. This is an outrageously for this type of discourse, very early, in my opinion. New Rob, 808. Oh my God, that Money Mitch clip on the Texan show. He did it again. And then the follow-up is Whataburger
Yeah.
has tweeted at the Houston Texans at Xfinity, we got you, Terrence. Stay tuned.
Terrence.
Terrence.
I don't even
Who's
know.
that?
Who's Terrence? He's
Doesn't
only
matter.
money.
Terrence is eating for free.
That's incredible.
We got you, Terrence.
We got you, Terrence.
You don't know the man if you called him Terrence.
No, you don't.
I wanted to ask Troy Hill, but unfortunately Money Mitch got knocked out of that game with the concussion that kept him sidelined for even another game after that. But he's assured me his noggin is back in prime working order, and I think that interview would clearly indicate that it is. I love the honey chicken biscuits. I'm a sauce guy, and he lists ketchup as one of his favorite sauces. It's great. He's just... he could be discussing Marxism. That Karl Marx, man. That guy's crazy. He's his breadth of knowledge, his scope, and his delivery, all of it. He's a legend. He's an all-timer, and I hope that when he is decides to hang up his cleats, I hope he's a regular contributor to Cleveland Browns Daily. I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't be.
He should be a contributor to humanity.
Well, he is.
In any way.
He's a gift.
He's a gift is exactly what he is. That's absolutely exactly what he is. Should we do a little over-unders?
Sure. But first, before you
what?
take your little victory lap, it's time to hear Jordan, do you have the clip from yesterday's edition of Cleveland Browns Daily?
You're the king of the quarter zip. Getting feedback on the pull string here from you is like getting art tips from Picasso.
What a job out of Kevin. What a job.
Oh, boy. You really tried to shrug it off live.
Yeah,
you played it off.
After further review,
it's valid.
The ruling has been reversed.
The other thing that when you made this studio that was just such a brilliant piece of work out of you, Gibby,
it all comes back to me.
You built the studio. You made every decision in here. It's the idea that the on-off switch, which, by the way, in any other radio studio is silent. It's up here and it's lit up.
It is
so
a button.
It's a lit up button is what it is. At every other radio show, for some reason here, it's underneath the desk and it makes this sound. That's
it's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
What are we doing?
Let me tell you something. You turned in an incredible performance of denial yesterday that, frankly, I don't know that we've seen since the great Shaggy song.
Wasn't me. I was so convinced.
That's right.
I was so convinced that it wasn't on air that you couldn't.
You forgot about
but then I forgot about the.
I didn't think about it either. It was the end of the show. It was happening quick. But when I was going back and posting it, I was like, oh. Wait a minute.
See, this on-air light that we have now is awesome, and we are so thankful that it's here, but it's not connected to the mic.
It needs to be connected to the mic.
So it's not actually
that would
a
be
referendum on whether or not your mic is hot.
Yes. Yeah, that would be the tricky part
but it
right there.
looks great.
It does. It does.
From Jade.
She tweeted out, her mom was quite the singer back in the day. I saw it tweeted out today. Yeah, so it certainly runs in the family. So
yeah.
So very good job there. All right, are you guys ready for a little over-under?
Zegura, you may resume your little dance.
Oh, kids, it only took till week 4 for order to become restored. As I dominated Gibby. 2 and 3 for me, 1 and 4 for Gibby. But I'm
Have you guys ever had this much trouble?
No.
With the over-unders?
I was
Never.
like
You were
30 and
crazy,
10 last year to start, and now I stink. Because I'm all in on the scores, which red hot.
Red hot on the scores.
Just for the record, I've never been good.
You were started off 8 and 2.
I'm counting on that. I'm counting on that, Gibby. Listen, as soon as I take the lead, the Macho Man robes come into studio.
So I can't wait to see. So you were 4. You went 4-1, 4-1 the first 2 weeks, 8 and 2. Last week 1 and 4 for Gibby. This week 1 and 4 for Gibby. Zegura, a robust 2 and 3.
Yeah, baby. Isn't that back-to-back 2 and 3s for me? I'm really starting to heat it up.
I think I don't know. You come into this week 7 and 13. Zegura, Gibby is 10 and 10. To be completely clear with everybody here, and for full disclosure, I am literally making this up on the fly right now because I forgot to do them. So it's a bad job out of me. It's a bad job. Out of me.
I thought you were doing them earlier when you were going through the accounting for the week.
No, I did.
Mitchell
I did
Raines
the
was
accounting.
already on the accounting. You just see Mitchell Raines tweets it to you.
We've had so much.
He tweets the results to you.
There's been so much fun on this program already today that I was.
Tigers. Oh my.
We did have that. I need to find the actual, and then we'll be good, and then we got everything else good.
The actual is it's surprisingly low, if I recall. Like a 40. Hold please. Here it go. Ready?
Yep.
47.
47. All right, we're good. Number 1. By the way, this is how good the over-unders have been, and I can't even hardly blame you guys for this.
Toot your own horn here. This is tootable.
It's pretty remarkable. Last week, I set the Chubb Hunt total yardage over-under at 189.5. Total yards for Chubb and Hunt last week against Minnesota, by the way, you both got it wrong, 191.
That run at the end of the first half, difference maker in so many respects.
Yeah, certainly was. All right, Zegura, you won this week, so let's start,
start
right there
me. Let's go. Now I'm not going to be influenced.
Chubb and Hunt
Gibby.
Total yards. We're going to stay right in that area. 185.5
All right, so this is one where, I've gotten into some of the keys to victory, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, but this is a Chargers team that on the average, this is average, folks, average, I'm going to go ahead and say it again, on average is giving up to running backs 142 total yards per game. However, in their lone loss to the Dallas Cowboys, they give up 237 total yards to their running backs. Over.
Bless you.
Give it. I will take the over as well. I was planning on it prior to Zegura opening
Can't
his
gain
pile,
any ground when
and
he just
sneezing
imitates
all
me.
over the studio.
Can't get any ground.
Next.
Over or under?
Justin Herbert, nice young quarterback, slings it around. We've done completion percentage. We've done rating. We're going to do yards here. Yards
I like
for
it.
Justin Herbert. 305.5. Gibbe?
I'm going to take the under. Lock it down, Greedy. Lock it down.
Last 2 weeks, he's been well in the 300s. And about 280, 290 3 weeks ago.
337, 338, 281, 222 for Justin Herbert. Under.
Next.
Over or
Thank you for
under?
following me. Good job.
Sacks, interceptions, fumbles. There are two numbers on this that determine this. It's because the sweet spot's always 4. You guys always feel comfortable at 4. We were mocked a couple of weeks ago for going 5.1 on Bears, and we got 9 of them. Got 9 sacks in that game. Last week,
went over.
Last week we went 3.1, and it was 3. So we've been right on it. This week, sacks, interceptions, fumbles. Zegura, 4.1.
They have not turned the ball over in 2 weeks, but in the first 2 games, they were averaging 2 turnovers a game. They don't get sacked a lot either. 4.1, we got to get to 5. Under.
Give it.
3 sacks, 1 pick.
That'd be an incredible game if you did that. 3 sacks and a pick, you win, I think.
Under.
Tape. Next.
Over or under?
Gibbe. A lot has been made of Baker Mayfield in the game against Minnesota. Completion percentage for 6. 64.5. Gibbe.
Zegura, by the way, don't turn around and look at me. You followed my lead on number 2. Stay in your lane.
64.5.
I'm going over. I'll look forward to Zegura following me. Over. Come on, bounce back this week.
This does
Let's go.
This does put him into the impossible position.
It does. It's the best
Which
thing
is because if he goes
it's
under,
the best thing that can happen.
then we could say he doesn't believe,
No,
which
I
is
do,
always
I
fun.
do believe.
I know you do. I know you do.
64.5.
That's right.
Opposing quarterbacks would have hit that in week 1 and 2 against the Chargers, not in week 3 or week 4. And that includes Patrick Mahomes and Derek Carr. We will not have, it feels like we will not have Jed Wills. So I'll take the under there.
The
63%.
You don't believe in
Plenty.
6.
I,
Sad.
I
Hate
do
to see
believe
it.
in him.
I had to do it just because I threatened it.
I believe him.
The actual. Oh, next.
Over or under?
The actual is 47.5. Segura.
Matt Money Smith said this is going way under.
He did.
Over.
He was. You go, do the opposite.
Opposite.
Give it.
Yeah, I disagree. I'm going over.
The
I'm
over.
going under.
I'm going over. It's fine. When I'm 3 and 2 and you're 2 and
under.
3, I'll extend that lead.
So you
by
want
another
under?
game.
Yeah.
You want under? Did you just do this to Gibby?
We're going to
Did you bait him? Was Gibby
the
baited?
football. He was baited a little bit.
No one's
there.
baiting.
No, that was a baiting.
for the record.
That was the old Potomac 2-step.
All right.
Just so we're clear, no bait. No
No
bait.
bait. No bait.
No, you were baited.
Oh, no. I knew where I was going right away. I'm just doing the math in my head to make sure that it added it up right. So when I said over, like, it made sense.
All of that was on brand for everybody. We'll get you the scores, get your keys to victory. You'll hear from Greedy Williams. Before we do that, though, I want to tell you about EOX Vantage, that local presence, the global footprint, trusted by some of the world's biggest brands. I'm going to read a testimonial from an EOX Vantage client, Tom Darty. He's the Senior Vice President of Specialty Programs at the NIP Group. He said, quote, I have a saying about working with EOX Vantage. If you dream it, they can build it. We generate
it is no dream.
Lots of ideas. Well, Nathan said that. Tom didn't. Lots of ideas for them to carry out. They've implemented everything we've come up with. We brainstorm ways to innovate and to improve our company, and we use EOX Vantage for the infrastructure, coding, and programming capabilities, technological expertise, and experience working with those global brands. We are absolutely thrilled by the partnership. You will be too, and you can learn more about EOX Vantage by visiting www.eoxvantage.com or call 216-298-1616. Again, that's 216-298-1616. Final hour on a football Friday. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. If you're sick and tired of your outdated kitchen, it's the perfect time to upgrade to a new modern design. At Northeast Factory Direct, cabinets include all the upgrades: solid wood, full extension drawer glides, cushioned closed drawers, and doors. And the best part, the process is simple. Make an appointment, bring in some basic measurements. A kitchen designer is going to walk you through the rest on the interactive big screen. You can see how it's going to look. Appointment and design are free. There's no obligation. In fact, they'll let you take it with you. And they also have 0% financing, guys. It's a big win. So if you're thinking about remodeling your kitchen, go to northeastfactorydirect.com and schedule your appointment today. Greedy Williams was on the Kevin Stefanski Show with us last night on the University Hospitals Cleveland Browns radio network. Here's a portion of that interview.
Let's talk about the interception.
You're down 3 minutes.
Because you early in the play, you point out the crossers coming, and then you said, oh, I better get deep as well, which you guys, I know you'd worked a lot on those shot plays of them. Kind of talk me through that play, what you saw as it unfolded, and then you sloughing off and getting that deep third on your side to make the interception.
Man, I just saw the receiver. He was in a cut split, and, I just alerted the safety, be alert for this race. And, he ran a race, and I alerted it to the safety, which give me the ability, to rise high, read the quarterback. And as I'm reading, I kind of try to cover myself up, so he won't see me like coming from the top. And when I seen him release the ball, that's when I tracked the receiver, and I made a play.
You did, not an easy one. You kind of have when you have to flip your head around when you're tracking the ball. That's not easy. You kind of look like a receiver, very calm right there.
Right. Yeah, man. I was just calm, cool, and collect. I knew I couldn't get a PI. I knew I didn't have to get a PI. So, man, I just played it for as played into him at first, and then I flipped my head and the ball landed right where I expected it.
What did it mean to you, not only to get your first interception going through everything that you've been through, but the way your teammates responded? Because that's, I think, if somebody gets to be on the sideline and have the best seat in the house, those are the things that maybe you don't always see, where how somebody feels with the team, and that love and appreciation they had for you, that had to mean a lot.
Man, that was probably one of the best moments, man. Just being far as my moments in the NFL, just coming back and being that step up guy for the team, and them guys just congratulate me, man, and they just been talking about it, all week. This week just, man, we love what we seen, man. Hey, let's just do it again, and let's be a dominant defense again, and I think that's the goal, and that's what I like about these guys. We move forward fast, and we're just ready to get to the next opponent.
Well, who's the first person you talked to after that game?
First person I talked to, I texted my mom, because man, I was just battling a lot of just depression and stuff like that, as far as injury wise. So I just texted my mom, and I said, man, I would never doubt myself again, and I love you forever. And I'm trying to think of the text word for word. I know I said I never doubt myself. I love you forever, and I'm just excited right now, and that was it.
That's special, right? You've been through so much, and in the season, these weeks, they just kind of churn. But to be able to have that moment to take a stop and look, and what's cool about it, too, is that was Grant's first, not his first game action, but his first full game where he basically had to play. And the two of you knowing that it happened right out here on the same day, and then the first time you guys both play a full game.
30.
Game day, two LSU kids went through this together. Did you guys talk about that at all after?
Man, it was amazing, man. I was as we got deeper in the game, I was so comfortable that I was talking to him for as bro, let's make a play. Let's make a play for this defense. We got to get off the field. So we was just communicating
stand by.
Let's make a play. Let's get off the field. Let's just keep rocking, man. Let's just keep going and just get off the field. So man, it was talking almost the whole.
You're up.
That was a great job you did. If you want to hear the entire interview, go to clevelandbrowns.com/media/podcast or wherever you get your podcasts. Listen to the Kevin Stefanski Show. It's a great interview with Greedy. It's been so long since we've talked to him, but he was a kind of a regular that rookie year with us.
Yeah.
Where we talked to him a lot and had him in studio several times, and you'd always get excited anytime you saw him. He's got such a great zest for life.
He does.
But he was off the face of the earth for a year with that injury.
Yeah.
And there was confusion around it. What is this injury? Nobody knew. Why is he not healed? I don't understand. When he went down, it was the most innocuous thing ever. There was no reason to believe that he would be gone even another practice, let alone, and it's the same practice with Delpit, right?
Same
They
day.
go down the same practice. Yeah. So the Delpit one was okay, Achilles, see you next year. We knew that. But with Greedy, it's well, he'll be back this week. What's going on with Greedy? What's going on? And then nothing, gone. And then you're reminded of a guy who started a lot as a rookie, big-time player at LSU, and you see what he is capable of last week. You can be as happy I'm as happy for him as I am anybody on this team. I can't imagine what the last year was like for him.
Yeah, and he's so happy. And just talking to him, he had so much – that big smile that he has, which is an infectious smile. He's a guy that, you heard Troy Hill talk about it. He was a starter, and then you get hurt, and they used the first-round pick on Greg Newsome, and you say to yourself, am I ever going to get a chance to even do this again here? And then when you do, you go out and you play like that. That's what's awesome. And that's why I love Greedy Williams.
Absolutely. We'll hit the matchup. We'll hit the keys to victory. Coming up next, you're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Beau Bishop here for my friends at Raising Cane's. Don't call a timeout. Make the right play. Score some hand-battered chicken fingers on this drive with Raising Cane's chicken fingers. Bring home a box combo. 4 hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crinkle-cut fries, fresh coleslaw, buttery Texas toast, Raising Cane's secret cane sauce. Top it off with delicious iced tea or fresh squeezed lemonade. Game day never tasted so good. Proud sponsor for Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks. All right, before we get to the keys to victory, the matchup, we didn't get to this side yesterday. We did the defense versus their offense, our offense versus their defense. This is the chess match that everybody wants to see because Brandon Staley is considered by many to be a little bit of a savant when it comes to the defensive side of things. I would say our guy is that on the offensive side of things.
Yep.
Last week, I think we almost got paralysis by analysis where you got the offense you did. That being said, I think Kevin Stefanski, you look at the tape and you say, boy, we left a lot of points out there on the field in Minnesota, and he called himself a pretty dang good game when you think of what could have been in that game last week. What do you anticipate us doing? What we know they're going to do is give you it. They give you it. They, especially on the ground. They just don't want anything big. They're anti-big play. What do you think Kevin Stefanski does to try to dial up some of those big plays? Or do you think he stays patient?
Yeah, well, you can hit some big plays running the football on this defense, and I think that's where the Browns are going to look to go, get some of those explosive runs. They also have, in my opinion, you're playing a lot of shell defense, so you've got to be patient. Now, this could lead to, in the completion percentage department, a high completion percentage day for Baker Mayfield, which would be good for Gibbe and frankly, good for all of us. In the sense that there should be underneath throws that are easy to make, but this is a defense that has been very, very good. Now, Chris Harris practiced all week, so it sounds to me like Chris Harris will be back. He's only played, I believe, in one game for them. Yeah, he played in one game for them this year. So getting him back, that's huge because this is a team that when you look at, how they kind of spread it out, their safeties right now, Nasir Adderley and Derwin James are both very, very good safeties this season. You can get Derwin James a little bit in coverage. That's where you've got to try to attack them. And that's where he's susceptible, but he's so physical. He does it all. And he's somebody that you have to account for all the time in that star role. It will be without Kenneth Murray, who was their first-round pick a year ago, the linebacker. So they're a little bit light at the linebacker position. And so that's maybe where the Browns are going to try to get after them. And Kazir White in coverage has allowed 14 completions on 15 targets for 112 yards. So he's somebody that maybe we target in the middle of the field. And then on the back end, the corners, they've got Trevon Campbell, they've got Asante Samuel Jr. and Michael Davis. Now, Trevon Campbell's the one who filled in, and it actually is their highest-graded corner so far. He's who filled in for Chris Harris, and he has played well, but I think Chris Harris will be back. If Chris Harris is back, he's their starting nickel, and he's an elite nickel in that sense. Asante Samuel Jr. on the year has only allowed 127 yards passing. He's got 2 picks, 2 PBUs, and a quarterback rating against them 60.5. So their corners have played very well. This is a good defense, but I talked about up front, it really kind of is Joey Bosa and the gang. Bosa's got 23 pressures on the season. Uchenna Nwosu's got 9. Jerry Tillery has 9. Linval Joseph has 7. And that's it. Kyler Fackrell, who actually had a pretty nice game against the Raiders, he's only got 4 pressures on the season, 2 sacks. That was definitely his best game of the year right there. But it's Bosa, and then nobody stands out amongst their group. It's not like our group in terms of just a relentless number of people that have a chance to go ahead and get after, the quarterback.
There you go. Going to be a fun one watching those two guys match wits. All right, keys to victory, Dr. Z.
All right, this week.
By the way, before the show, you're not feeling well. I mean, I think we all know. It's fair. You said you're going to have to carry me a little bit today.
And you rejected it.
What did I say?
No.
I reject the notion of carrying you.
Yeah. You said
I won't have it.
You won't have it. Said I've done plenty of hours of radio
and
myself.
I knew that you would rise to the occasion.
Which
a Willis Reed performance today out of you. I knew that.
COVID-free for everybody, by the way. I've been tested. We're good on that front, so no worries
we're
there.
Tested.
But
we're tested more than we could possibly care to be tested.
We're all good.
We're good.
We were good on that front.
We are.
But anyway, good job out of you, Dr. Z.
All right, the keys to victory. Number 1, that raw power running attack, as was the case last week. One way to slow down an elite offense is to keep them on the sideline while you control the ball. In the win over the Vikings, the Browns, 38 carries, 184 yards, and a touchdown there while dominating time possession 35-32 to 24-28. Our offense was on the field for almost 11 minutes more. In fact, 11 minutes more than the Vikings offense. That sounds good to me. They're the league's worst run defense through the first 3 weeks of the season, currently sit at 29th, allowing 139.5 per game. In those first 3 games, opposing running backs rushed 20-plus times in each game, produced at least 100 yards rushing, averaging 25 carries for 138. That's 5.5 a pop. And in the Chargers' lone loss for the season, Zeke and Pollard, an excellent running back duo, they rushed 29 times for 180 yards and 2 scores alone. We've got Kareem. We've got Chubb. We've got the best running back duo in the National Football League. Oh, by the way, Kareem Hunt's also the Browns' leading receiver. No big deal. The Browns have rushed for more than 150 yards in every game this season. The Chargers, they're 0-1 when allowing 150-plus yards on the ground. So look for the Browns to pound it and pound that rock against this Chargers defense that is comfortable and content to sit in a shell and let you run it. Number 2, clean sheet on offense. Despite the dominant rushing offensive performance in the win over the Vikings, nobody would say this was a great offensive performance overall. However, they were elite in the one stat that matters, turnovers. No turnovers for the Browns. They had a clean sheet on offense in each of the last 2 games, both wins. Under Kevin Stefanski, the Browns are now 2-0 this year, 8-0 all-time when they don't turn the football over, and all-time they are 14-0 when winning or tying the turnover battle. You want to win? Win the turnover battle. Seems pretty simple to me. The Chargers, though, they've been excellent taking the football away. 5 takeaways in their last 2 games alone, wins over the Chiefs and the Raiders. In their lone loss this year, you guessed it, the Chargers lost the turnover battle 2-1. For the year, they have 7 takeaways, 6th most in the NFL, plus 3 turnover differential, also 6th most in the NFL. They have not turned it over in either of their 2 most recent games. So if we're clean, worst we can be is tied. We've never lost under Kevin Stefanski when we're tying the turnover battle, so clean there. And number 3, get off the field on 3rd downs and get after Justin Herbert. Since 2020, Herbert leads all quarterbacks with 17 touchdown passes on 3rd down. He leads the league with 96 passing first downs on 3rd down. This year, he already has 23 of those, most in the league. So the Chargers, 49% of their 3rd downs have been converted this season, 5th best rate in the NFL. They've added another 4 successful 4th down conversions, so they're extending their drives 56.3% of the time, due in large part to the poise and talent of their second-year quarterback. And now for the Browns, it's been a tale of 2 seasons. Week 1 and 2, they allowed 17 of 27 conversions, 63%. Last 2 weeks, 6 of 27, just 22% best in the NFL during that span. So it's that pressure. Miles, Clowney, Tack, Malik Jackson, Malik McDowell. The last 2 weeks, the Browns have gotten pressure on more than 50% of their opponents' dropbacks. That's ridiculous. If they do that against Herbert, they will be successful. So far, he's a little bit under pressure 27% of the time. And when he is under pressure, completion percentage drops 20%, yards per attempt fall by 2.7 yards, and his quarterback rating falls by nearly 20 points. It's true with every quarterback, but get him under pressure, and his efficiency drops. And the Chargers, by the way, have scored 58 points the last 2 games.
They've been on another level the last couple of weeks. Offensively, it's clicking. The first couple of weeks, they could not find the red zone, had trouble putting it in. They could find the red zone, but they couldn't put it in the paint. I mean, They just were a team that could not finish drives. They are finishing the last couple of weeks. Very, very impressive in those wins over the Chiefs and the Raiders, of course. The uniform matchup has a chance to be a beautiful one. They will be wearing their powder blues. We know that. We will be white over brown. Did I see that? The traditional,
I believe that's right.
The standard home bearer, rather. Any of them would have been good. I think the orange, white would have been, not even the 75, just the white with the white pants would have been a gorgeous.
Awesome. Yeah.
That would have been a gorgeous look for this one. The orange pants would have looked good too. All of them look good, but it's going to be a beautiful uniform matchup in the game. This is a fun game, guys, and this is the start of 3 games in 11 days for us, as you've brought up earlier on the show, earlier this week on the show, and you start to think about it, you go, yeah, that's true. It's also a stretch of back-to-back games against 2 teams that a lot of people think are contenders to win the Super Bowl. You're going to L.A. to play the Chargers, and then you have Arizona here next Sunday. They are undefeated. Arizona hosts San Francisco. We will let you know if they're going to win that game or not in the scores, because if we say it, it's true.
That's right.
It's just the way that goes. But this is a monster stretch of games in terms of where you're at, and it's not just for us, guys. You want to see who's good in the AFC? If you wanted to, in the 1 o'clock window, Cincinnati plays the Packers. The Steelers, we know who they are, but they also get the Broncos. So you get to look at those 2 teams in the 1 o'clock window. We're at 4:05. The other AFC contenders play right after us. Sunday Night Football, you have the Bills and the Chiefs. And then Monday Night Football, the Colts host the Ravens. So you want to see who's good in your division. How does everybody look at the quarter poll? How good's the AFC? It's all on display for you this weekend. I'm excited. It's an incredible Sunday of football, and we are certainly a part of that. Coming up next, a little segment we like to call, well, hold. For a running back, getting extra yards is great, but ball security is always the first priority. For gamblers, keeping priorities straight is also important, so make sure all your bills are paid before you spend money on fun stuff like gambling. Get more tips at keepitfunohio.com. Coming up next, a little segment we like to call The Score. pay attention to the scores. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. If your game plan for this season includes buying or selling a home, Howard Hanna Real Estate Services has you covered. Visit howardhanna.com/go Browns today.
Before we get into the scores.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Yesterday we talked about how, Browns therapy, tremendous. The Mount Rushmore, to myself, you, the Hoff, Gibbe.
Yep.
Troubadour Kent said, congrats to Nathan Zegura, Beau Bishop, Joe Thomas, and ... some other guy. The Hoff just retweeted that, quote tweeted, it said, some other guy. A lot of laughing emojis at BGSU Gibbs. Gibbe is not just some other guy. He's the huge
We
B.
will not stand for that.
We will not stand for that.
Brand.
We will not stand for that. Gibbe is a legend.
You tell
Huge
me
P.
if any other producer you know has a huge P like this one.
No.
Look at the size of this P.
Yes.
I mean, come on. Look at it on the stream.
And he was willingly.
You think some other guys
Don't
walking
tell
around?
me you're not impressed.
He was
Come
willingly
on.
baited earlier in the show.
Look at that.
Legend.
Let's do it. We got 14 games to go through.
Can we-
Welcome
Hold.
to the
hold,
scores,
hold,
week
hold.
5. But
Don't-
before
don't
that,
bury the lead, brother.
Let's recap.
Okay, there we
hey,
go.
Victory
just
laps.
relax.
Ball's not going to spike itself.
Hey, you're hot. I
Ladies
know
and
we're
gen-
hot.
Yeah, we are
Right.
hot. We're red hot.
Ladies and gentlemen, now that they're out of their cars, let them hear it.
I would like people to tweet us with what's the best thing that you have bought
Yeah.
as a
I'd like
result
that
of
too.
the scores.
That would make me feel good.
Yeah.
People
How many
helping
kids
people.
are in college? Who's
Yeah.
bought a house? Who's bought a new car?
Yeah.
Who's bought a new big screen? Maybe an Xbox, PlayStation. What have you
Take
bought?
a picture of your Targa and tweet us
Tweet
so
it
we
to
can
us.
see what you've
Yeah.
won.
Because-
paying attention to the scores.
Because where we sit now, I was 10-6 last week, and that feels mediocre when you're next to the greatness of Beau Bishop, 11-5 for the second straight week. And this was one, if you really dialed in, there were only 2 games out of the 16-game slate where you were not given a winner by one of us. We both had Indiana and Miami wrong, and we both had the Niners and Seattle wrong. But other than that, there was a winner in every single game. But if you just follow, I mean, right now, 20 games over 500, 22 over 500.
Through 4 weeks.
Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Let's go. Let's go. And I never slice.
What do you think? Do you think that course a nice course
No.
in real life?
No.
Because when you watch it back, I mean, it looks
Awful.
like a goat track. And do you think they just didn't have the budget to get like a big time club?
It's just kind of like a basic club in the book down in Florida. It's just like in a basic place. Might even be in a public course for all I know.
Yeah. I mean, that's certainly what it feels like. But like the way that Judge sells it is that it is,
Well, it's prestigious.
Augusta.
Elihu.
Y'all right there, Z?
No.
Don't
No.
you go
I
dying
am
on me.
not.
All right.
If my scores are great again this week, this is like the Jordan flu game. If not, my head's clouded.
Yeah, already set himself up. By the way, didn't we talk about this earlier in being accountable?
Although
No?
I've been on fire to the trash can. Like,
You have been,
I mean,
yeah, you've had a good
nothing
run.
but swishes.
Yep.
So, and by the way, last night, winner. The Thursday Night Club. There should be shirts made about it. I'm open to that. We need to
really
get.
have a merch. We could have a merch because we have Wednesday night taped, Thursday night club.
Yep.
There's so many things that we could do.
Fourth down Friday. You could do the one where I'm like,
Yep.
give a little Zoolander.
I like that. Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. Week 5 of the scores.
Well, that's a pay attention to the scores Friday.
First up, Sunday.
We need to get a good
How about a
Zoolander
little,
shot of you.
You like breakfast in football? You like a little brunch in football?
No.
Absolutely, I do.
If it was a good game.
The New York Jets traveling to London to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are the, quote, home team. No Russell Gage, no Calvin Ridley for the Falcons. Zegura, lead us off since you're sick.
Kyle, you've been the pits. I'm going to need more from you, for my fantasy team. The Falcons
play that guy.
are going to need more. I'm playing him. This is his breakout game. We're going to be back here, and we're going to be talking about just how great he is. But the offensive rookie of the week, Zach Wilson's starting to heat it up a little bit for the Jets. Falcons, gutless. They're up 24-20 with about 2 minutes to go. Wilson to Corey Davis. Touchdown, 27-20. J-E-T-S. Jets.
All right, you went to a private school.
Falcons are so gut. 2 of them, in fact. Falcons are so gutless. They are so gutless. They're brutal. The thing about it is, the Jets have a little bit of belief now.
They do.
I like them outright.
So did I.
Yeah. Jets 21, Falcons 20.
Ram it.
No, it's not a blowout. You don't ram it unless it's a blowout.
You don't make the rules, Gibbe, and when an underdog wins
I actually
outright,
think I do here in this segment.
when an underdog,
I believe I do.
When an underdog wins outright, that's a ram it.
Bootsy's big lie. You're not the boss of me.
Yeah, you're not the boss
Yeah.
of me, Gibbe.
Up next, Broncos, first loss of the year. They're still angry at Baltimore for running an extra play. Sorry you didn't have a 16-point play in your bag. Broncos traveling to the Pukers. Teddy Bridgewater remains in concussion protocol. Optimism about his status for Sunday, however.
Excuse me, Mr. Zegura, do you have a question?
I do. Are we able to make a pick based on the quarterback? Because
I don't know.
my
but don't
feeling,
blow
if
up my
Drew
phone
Lock is
Sunday
playing this
morning
game,
if you're telling me that
Mike,
you're going to change.
I won't blow up your phone. We're going to be at the stadium.
I think as
for
long
about
as we're on
38
the
hours.
same page of it, I think that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. So here's
if
my
Teddy
belief.
plays
Denver.
If not,
Ram it.
ram it. Yeah, I tend to think ram it too. I think if you're this Broncos team's not very good, and they're ravaged. They're ravaged by injury, and their wins are against the worst teams in the league. Pittsburgh's not good either, but they've got a little bit of heart and a little bit of culture. Give me the Steelers 3, Broncos 1.
Irregardless?
Irregardless.
You're going irregardless.
Irregardless.
I'm taking Teddy if he starts. If he does not,
ram it.
Pukers. Ram it.
Not ram it. Lions.
You got a snack.
In an NFC North tussle. Lions 0-4 at the 1-3 Minnesota Vikings, who easily could be 3-1.
That's a pretty
but
good
they're not.
Fargo accent out of you. That was really good.
There you go. Vikings. Lions.
Oh, yeah, you betcha.
That was very, very good out of you.
Who's up?
Z.
Z. We got some clunkers this week in Week 5 of the NFL.
Bashaud Breeland was asked by a reporter, how does it feel? Are you embarrassed that you are ranked cornerback 103 out of 103 by Pro Football Focus?
Mm-hmm.
To which Bashaud Breeland responded, I'm not embarrassed. I'm doing just fine, thanks. I know I've got to improve. But by the way, in case you were wondering, if there were rankings of reporters, you'd be 101 out of 101 probably. Point Breeland, point Vikings. They get well against the Leons. 48. Detroit, 40.
Wow. Week 1, Detroit comes all the way back, makes it interesting against the 49ers, a little bit of belief. They play a great first half.
That's right.
At Lambeau, belief. We believe we're turning the corner. We're making things right. We believe in what we're being taught. We're eating people's ankles the way Dan Campbell said that we would. You play the Ravens, you lose on a 66-yard field goal at the buzzer. And then you play the Bears. Slump City. Belief dripping away. Vikings. Ram it.
Huge.
Next. Yes. Sound the horn, let the fake snow fall, and let's party.
What an environment.
Up
Heard
next.
from a buddy last night who was there, sat in the front row, said it was unbelievable.
It is.
Unbelievable.
Their game
I was in front of the
presentation
front
is-
row.
You were?
Unbelievable.
Yes. Said it was unreal. Said he couldn't hear. Like the guy sitting next to me said he couldn't hear.
Correct.
Oh, it gets loud.
Yeah.
It's very loud. Probably the best 1 o'clock game.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. 3-1 Cincinnati hosting 3-1 Green Bay. Who has a problem? Aaron Rodgers has no problems. Just makes naughty-looking faces at coaches and smiles, winks, get a little wink and nod
If
back.
he ends up in Pittsburgh,
You
I
know.
can't even.
Why are you putting that
keep
into
our
the
options
universe?
open.
That was talked about last week because he was making faces at Tomlin.
Did
and
you not
Tomlin,
see
You
Tom-
didn't see all this?
I chose
talked
to
with
be an
such
ostrich.
Smart. Such reverence for the Steelers. No.
Oh, yeah. Aaron just wants you to know, wants you to remember
No.
that he's still relevant.
Well, he's the MVP, but I don't need him I don't need him there.
He
Yeah.
beat
Anywhere but
Tomlin,
there.
right, to win his Super Bowl.
Yes, he did. In Dallas.
In Dallas, that's right.
3-1 v. 3-1 Packers Bengals Bishop.
You look at this and you look at the scores on this and you say, this doesn't make any sense. So there's this notion sometimes when you see a score that doesn't make sense to then say, well, there's a reason it doesn't make sense. Sometimes a score doesn't make sense because a score doesn't make sense. Okay? Cincinnati barely beat Jacksonville last week. Green Bay's rolling. Did you see the podium that the Bengals were speaking in front of?
No, I didn't, because that's not a podium.
It's a rollout tray.
It's a tray.
With a microphone on it. The Hoff came off the top rope and bombed him. I think there's going to be Packers fans down there. Packers, 77. Cincinnati, 21.
That's what we call ram it.
Ram it. Pack it up, pack it in, let me begin. Let's go.
Up next.
I'm not even doing my oppo on that one because I just don't get it.
Nope.
And by the way, I don't want it. I don't want it.
No.
Up next, any chance of a letdown? Probably not. Tampa Bay hosting the Miami Dolphins, a battle of Florida. Zegura?
This is an interesting one because I could see how there would be some type of an emotional letdown. They are ravaged on the back end.
They are.
I think that they're going to be – I think they're just going to scrape out a win and do what they have to do to win. And lately, is it still Brissett at quarterback?
That's what I was just – hold on.
I believe that it is. I believe that he finds Gesicki, a Devontae Parker, a Jalen Waddle. Oh, Jacoby.
Who's at the door? Is somebody at the door?
Jacoby, come right on in here. Bucks 37, Dolphins 30.
Bootsy, slam the door on him. Bucks 21, Dolphins 10.
Wow. Some of these lines are crazy.
It's a big blowout to start off your Sunday. It gets better as the day goes on. Up next, gentlemen, 4 of the 5 starting offensive linemen for the New England Patriots. 2 are on the COVID list. Right guard has an abdomen. Right tackle with a right calf. Not at practice today. 4 of the 5 starting offensive linemen for the Patriots. Patriots on the road taking on Money Mitch Whataburger
Love Money.
And the Houston Texans. I don't know, is Tyrod back or is he not back?
No.
No, he is not.
No, it's impacted, in fact, in the scores here. Do you have something? You act like you had something.
Yeah. Darren says, bought a bottle of Weller foolproof because of the scores. Thank you, gentlemen. That's what scores are here for. You're welcome.
Happy to help. Here to help. This
That's
is, I think that for Houston, that there was a little bit of belief in what David Culley was doing, and that belief started to evaporate right here.
Oh, you mean when he decided to
punt?
That's right.
Yeah. These are their scores the last 2 weeks against one team that's similar to New England and one team that's quite a bit better. Total combined score, 64-9. 64-9. Patriots, ram it.
As my grandfather Nano Zegura would say, first time bitten by snake, second time Fredo lizard. Not falling for it again, Texans. Ram it!
Next, Saints, Washington football team. Now, Washington football team, maybe not as good as everybody thinks. Maybe they are. Who knows? They're 2-2 on the football season, playing host to a New Orleans Saints team that, frankly, I have no idea which team's going to show up. They're also 2-2. An interesting one, a rare close score coming up here on Sunday in the early going.
The Saints will go on a bye week next week.
Yep.
They will get Michael Thomas back the following week for the rest of their season. They're Jekyll and Hyde. They either dominate or they get dominated. I don't think the Washington football team, sans Logan Thomas, sans Curtis Samuel, banged up Antonio Gibson, Heineke at quarterback. That doesn't feel like a team's going to dominate somebody to me. Saints, 6. Football team, 2.
New Orleans is my Costanza team. I just do the opposite. Whatever my intuition is, I do the opposite. I started doing this last week for them. I thought, boy, coming at home, they're going to steamroll the Giants. Take care of business. First game at the Superdome, emotion.
Yep.
So what do? We picked the Giants. What happened? Giants. So now I say to myself, okay, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Little bit of let's get it together. Going to Washington. Washington defensive line, scary. Football team fired up. Do the opposite. New Orleans, 6. Football team, 2.
I like that score. I
Same.
heard it before. Same.
Oh, that game could actually be that final score. That's the sad thing about it. Up next, the Eagles, 1-3 on the football season, on the road, visiting the 3-1 Carolina Panthers. Christian McCaffrey doubtful for the Panthers.
Won't matter.
On Sunday, Panthers, Eagles. Eagles are one of the 4 worst teams in the NFL. I don't care what anybody says.
Why are they so bad? Because as somebody who has not gotten to watch any Eagles, when you're watching with Boomer,
I think the
what's
reason
wrong with them?
I think the reason people thought that they were better than they were is because Jalen Hurts is good at fantasy. So that gives you the false hope that they're actually a good football team. Turns out they're trash. They're just a trash football team. Carolina is not a trash football team. Carolina is going to win this game. They'll handle their business. It's at their place. I think they suffocate Philly out 21-10.
Teams tell you what they think about themselves by their actions, and the fact that they went out to get Stephon Gilmore tells you that this Carolina team thinks that they're for real. A for real team takes care of business against the Eagles at home. Ram it.
All right, gentlemen. Up next, a tilt in the AFC South. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the worst division in football. Although the AFC East is making
this is
strong
it.
headway.
This is it. It's as by 100 miles.
Right.
100 miles. This one.
This one's pretty awful. Titans will not. I believe they will have A.J. Brown.
They will.
But they will not have Julio Jones.
Yep.
He's officially out.
They've got Ryan Tannehill. They've got Derrick Henry.
Titans, Jaguars, trouble in paradise. There never really was paradise. Jacksonville playing host.
Listen. In my time down at Columbus, there was nobody who felt more disrespected by Urban Meyer than Mike Vrabel. And he said, I don't need this crap. I was a Super Bowl champion. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go be a defensive coordinator in the NFL. I'm going to go be a head coach in the NFL.
Yeah.
And now you're going to go into that old town, make a spectacle of yourself. Families leaving social media.
Yep.
Players are mocking you in their breaking of the huddle.
Yep.
I want to put the nail in the coffin. I want to be the guy, is what Vrabel said, that ends the Urban Meyer era in Jacksonville.
I like where you're headed.
Titans, $1 billion. Jags, -6.
That's a slumping.
I can't even imagine. It's an incredible anecdote that you have there from your time down there. I can't even imagine. I mean, Mike Vrabel is an alumnus of the Ohio State University.
An elite.
Yeah.
Elite alumnus.
That's right.
And he was treated with disrespect.
Disrespect. According to you.
According to him.
Same.
Via me. I am just the vessel by which his message is shared.
Like if this is a ram it, like does Urban resign at the press conference after the game?
I think it's going to be.
I think it's all in play. I think it is a ram it, and I don't know. I think everything's in play down there. Everything.
Like if they get slumped, what's the crowd reaction going to be like? If this one's 35-0 in the second half.
Well, good news. It's going to be all Titans fans anyways because no one goes to Jacksonville games.
No.
Shame. It's
Poor
great.
Trevor Lawrence.
He's got great pools there. He should have pulled an Elijah.
He should have pulled an Eli. I'm not. Nope. Won't do it.
Won't do it.
Won't do it.
I'll go to the Niners though.
Yep.
All right. We got to get a few games in here, kids. Did you give a score?
Yeah, ram it.
I told a great anecdote from my time in Columbus.
Yeah.
Up next, we go to the 4 o'clock games. 4:05 Bears, Raiders. Bears 0-2 on the road. Raiders 2-0 at home. 3-1 Raiders. 2-2 Bears. Go.
Raiders get healthy a little bit here. 24-14.
Same.
Raiders.
Next, 4:25. This is America's game, not our game.
That tells
this
you
is
the power
America's
of,
game.
Jeez.
The Giants, fresh off their first win of the year, visiting Dallas in a big NFC East tilt that really only the NFC East cares about, and not even most of them.
Cowboys ram it. Ram it.
Daniel Jones is actually
he's good.
Pretty good.
He's fine.
And we're not talking about that.
He's not good.
I heard Russillo say this about Daniel Jones. Like, if his career is Kirk Cousins, that's good.
He's more athletic. He's a more athletic Kirk Cousins. That'd be a
I
great
just think Dallas is good. I think they're legitimately good.
I think they're real good too. Dallas 41, Giants 35.
425 49ers on the road at undefeated Arizona. It's the tune-up for the Browns for the Arizona Cardinals.
Dad. Hey, Dad. We're starting Trey Lance. I'm so excited about him. I've never been more excited for a 49ers quarterback since Steve Young. He wears a single digit like Steve in everything.
Nate, you know well, Steve Young was a fraudster. Joe Montana's the only man of importance in our house, and you wore a double-digit number. That's how I like my quarterbacks. Wearing 2 digits there. No Jimmy G. Not looking good. This Arizona team's for real. We got problems. I think Kyle's going to be on the hot seat. I'm with Gibby. Nate!
Yes. It's about time y'all started coming
Dad,
around.
he's not going to be on
He's
the hot seat.
not going to be on the hot seat, Dad.
No.
Dad, he's not. He's really smart.
He's really good. He's a gangster.
He's a gangster, Dad.
Just like Joe Woods was never on the hot seat either, even though everybody wanted to say he was. Remember that.
I think Kyle with the week makes this interesting for Trey. I think he put some stuff in there. I think this is tight. I could see the 49ers winning. I don't know if they will, but I think they lose by a field goal.
Wow.
34-31.
Little letdown for Arizona after beating
nice
the Rams.
back and forth.
Yeah. I think, division game. Kyle's my guy, man. I really liked him when he was here. He and I had a little bit of a friendship, and I've always called him a gangster.
Tattoos, right?
Yeah, that's right.
60 seconds here, gentlemen. Sunday Night Foosball. It's going to be a good one. The Bills-Chiefs, live from Arrowhead, a rematch
What a
of the
reaction for
AFC
you, by the way.
Championship game.
Do you remember
I don't even want to talk.
when you remember a year ago when the Chiefs went to play the Ravens and everyone was ready to anoint the Ravens, and then the Chiefs woke up. This Chiefs team isn't as good as that one, but this is I think this is the game when you go, oh yeah,
Josh Gordon's debut.
yeah. Everyone's this would be a fun game. Chiefs 42, Buffalo 36.
By the way, the over-under 56.5.
Oh, woo! A lot of points.
You remember last year in the AFC Championship game when the Bills went up to the Chiefs and they said, we want to be the team of record in the AFC. We feel like we should be the team of record.
Hey, we got to go to break.
And the
Smalls.
Chiefs just
Get it
looked
out.
at him like, get lost.
Why would you be that?
Why would you be? We're untouchable. We're the Kansas City
Yeah.
Chiefs. And turns out they were. Not this year.
Oh boy.
New sheriff in town.
Oh boy.
Joshy Poo, 34.
Oh gosh.
Mahomes, 35.
Oh boy. Same but different. So much more to come. Cleveland Browns Daily 850 ESPN Cleveland. Go ahead.
Ready? You're up.
Elk and Elk Serious Lawyer, Serious Injuries. Call 1-800-ELK Ohio today for a free case review. Elk and Elk, proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. It is us. It is the Chargers. How do you see it, Dr. Z?
Chase McLaughlin from 47. Good 24-23 Browns.
I think it's going to be fun. It's a classic.
It
Same. I agree with you. We'll be back on Monday on a Victory Monday to